382 AD, 4276 AM, Emperor Theodosius entered into a treaty with the Visigoths, giving them the devastated Balkan regions they had laid waste. Almost all Visigothic males of military age joined the Roman army. Interestingly, over 980 years earlier, the ancient German peoples settled the Balkans after escaping from the Assyria domains, where the 10 tribes of Israel had been deported. 1. The invaders of Rome. 383 AD, 4277 AM. Jerome finished his Latin translation of the Holy Scriptures. In his preface to the 4 Gospels he wrote, quote, "You urge me to revise the old Latin version, and, as it were, to sit in judgment on the copies of the Scriptures which are now scattered throughout the whole world, and, since they differ from one another, you would have me decide which of them agree with the Greek original. The labour is one of love, but at the same time both perilous and presumptuous." Unquote. This was 350 years after the 33 AD crucifixion event. 1. History in quotations. 384 AD, 4278 AM. Planet Phoenix passed through the inner solar system, completing its 138 years orbit. There are no records that it was seen. Pope Siricius of Rome initiated the Roman papal practice of issuing decrees, commands to be obeyed by other bishops. 1. The Jesus Papers. 389 AD, 4283 AM. Christians led by the Patriarch Theophilus destroyed the Serapeum in Alexandria, Egypt, which contained a library that had inherited many of the old texts once stored in the Library of Alexandria. Emperor Theodosius had the Sibylline books burned again, the ancient prophecies of the Greek Sibyl that was of old said to be of Hebrew origin. Though the books of the Sibyl had been destroyed before, they were reconstructed from the copies spread abroad. 1. Elder Gods in Antiquity. 390 AD, 4284 AM. Throughout the Roman Empire, the book burnings continued. The bishops received permission from the Roman Emperor, and the scheme was approved by all as a method of eliminating opposition to the official Church of Rome. With the completion of Jerome's Latin version of the Bible, agents of the Church had to destroy all other versions that varied from the official Gospel story. Emperor Theodosius the Great had the great statue of Jupiter Serapis at Alexandria destroyed. This was 1800 years, 600 times 3, after the Israelites conquered Lower Syria in 1411 BC. 1. Our Sun God. 2. A Short History of the World. 393 AD, 4287 AM. The Synod of Hippo in northern Africa convened to officially recognise the 27 books of the New Testament. They did not select a canon at this time, which had already been done, but merely recognised the 27 books already amassed that comprised the New Testament. The canon was fixed at this time under the leadership of Pope Siricius. Interestingly, this synod was the first to accept the Apocalypse or Book of Revelation, though the Synod of Archaix in 789 AD would remove it 396 years later. This 396 is half of 792 years, the orbit of Nibiru. Recall that the Apocalypse, which concerns the return of Nibiru, see Anunnaki homeworld, is dated at 96 AD, when Nibiru was at aphelion, furthest distance from the Sun. Theodosius I is said to be Rome's first Christian emperor. In this year he abolished the Olympic Games, which had been uninterrupted for 1170 years. 1. A Quest for Answers. 2. The Jesus Papers. 3. History of the First Council of Nice. 394 AD, 4288 AM. Egyptian hieroglyphic writing was virtually extinct. In this year the last hieroglyphic record was made, on a wall of the Temple of Philae. 1. The night Attila died. 395 AD, 4289 AM. Theodosius I died, and the Visigoths rebelled, electing as king a Visigothic commander named Alaric, who was 30 years old. 1. The invaders of Rome. 396 AD, 4290 AM. Senator Q. Aurelius Symmachus composed a new edition of Livy's first 10 books on the history of Rome. It was this edition that preserved Livy's writings for us through the Dark Ages. 1. Livy, Early History of Rome, R. M. Ogilvie translation, Salincourt. 397 AD, 4291 AM. At the Council of Carthage under the direction of Siricius of Rome occurred the second ratification of the New Testament books. 1. The Jesus Papers, the Gospel Truth. 400 AD, 4294 AM. A comet blazed across the sky, heading west according to Roman writers and Chinese records. Alaric, ruler of the Visigoths, noted this comet as an omen to conquer the western frontiers of Rome. Also in this year were several eclipses of the moon. Alaric attacked Rome in this year but was repelled. This was the 444th year of the Roman Julian calendar that began in 45 BC. 1. The invaders of Rome. 2. Tracing our ancestors.